What could be more important than your photography? You've worked so hard choosing the perfect gown, the cake, and the colors. But if you don't have the right pictures to put it all together and memorialize it for you, did it even happen? Well, we've got a great couple here for you today, Oscar and Christy. You're going to love their insights on photography. I can't wait for you to meet them. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for listening to Bridal Extravaganza podcast and TV. Welcome to the Bridal Extravaganza podcast and YouTube channel. This is Laurette Veras, and I've got Oscar and Christy with me today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for having us. My first and most obvious question, of course, is the name of your company, His and Her. You are the His and the Her. How did this come about? Were you always the His and Her? And what's the history? Oh, no, actually. So we are both photographers on our own right. And then when we met, working through photography, and then our own wedding, we decided to join forces. So prior to that, he was, what was it, Oscar IB photography, because he's a fourth. And then when we decided to rebrand, we were just like, Hidden Hers.
Well,
like
the
it
name-
works for wedding shoot.
The name was actually a play off of Zoe Deschanel's band. There was, I think it was him and her, or
She or something.
and that just stuck in my head. And so I just had a different play on the words, and it really worked out. Did we look at it as on hers and she's his
I love that.
instead of like the other way?
And this happened because of your wedding? Can you tell us, like, what's the love story inside?
You can tell it.
He was the dude that, like, didn't want to do the lovey-dovey wedding-y stuff. And I'm like, oh, no. Because he's the techie guy, and I'm the feelsy one. And so after our own wedding, he realized the technical aspects of what wedding photography and event photography entail. And so he was all about it after that. So we ended up on our honeymoon, actually. Obviously, we brought the gear, what we do. And we ended up photographing a wedding on our honeymoon. I said, lucky we have any more details. Yeah. Did they not have a photographer? You just
You can't make it. Like, it was on a little island off the, about like a 20-minute boat ride off the coast of Belize. It's like one of these, it's a bigger place now, but at the time it's like 10 acres.
That's that Keycocker or what was it?
Cocoa Plum.
I don't even know it. It's tiny. We're small. At the time, like 10 cabana.
Right.
Bar and a roof.
And just stay there and do the excursions off of there. And so basically, when it's that small, you're eating every meal with everybody. Yeah, like you get to know all the couples. It was all cool. And yeah, their photographers didn't show up. And so it was actually a really cute thing. The night before, all the guys, we waited across to do the guys' night at the neighboring island, which is just nothing. And then the girls got together. And then there was the wedding.
So you said you were on the bachelor party of a couple that you didn't know. Yeah. So everyone.
The entire island was invited.
Yeah. So all them down.
Full.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then the couple actually ended up being from Spring, which I could ever call world. It was such a, it's only 2.5 hour plane ride. So it's an easy. I do love Belize because of the direct flight. Yeah.
That you can get there faster than you can get cross down to. What is it? But yeah, so we did the, like, I guess in the car from Algo, I think it was something like they were flying in or something, and their gear they didn't carry it or something, and so it was lost for a minute, and so they didn't have anybody, and I was like, well, we have it, so we did our first wedding there. I've photographed a few weddings before, but it was never a focus of mine. And I've only ever been a photographer, so whenever I was younger and whatever, I'd done a one here, one there. But it's just never my thing. But and in that time span, what wedding photography was, it completely changed.
So can you talk?
Well, yeah, whenever I first started, it was like the first couple I ever did, it was just way more dry, way still very much the film feel where you might only have a few rolls of film. People, like now where a photographer might deliver 800 images, whatever. It used to just be like a brick of film is only 5 rolls of 36 exposures, and then they don't know they're nailing every single one. So you might, and I guess just a lot of more calculated and drier photography, and it wasn't near as creative, at least in my experience that I'd had. And expectations weren't there. And now, whenever we got back into it from the very first one, and then we just like everything was mixed together at once, right? So you're doing product shots, you're doing portraits, you're doing candid, you're doing kind of like almost the entire gamut of like what you might be interested in as a photographer. You can shoot high fashion when they're getting ready. Almost everything that you want to do was all wrapped up in one day. And I always have kind of thrived in a let's go environment. I like the pressure of it. It doesn't, that is I have a bigger problem driving to the event. You get the butterflies, and I always said, whenever the butterflies stop, then I'll have to be done shooting waves, right? But you get nervous, go, because if you're not nervous to shoot someone's big day like that, then things can go wrong. It's just a matter of how fast can you solve the issue, which again, for somebody that's into technology and everything and into the gear, it's a great time because things do go wrong. Get it like, okay, test yourself and pass, it's just, you're racing to get time and then you get to do all the different aspects of photography and then go home and sleep till 3 the next day.
That is so well put, Aaron, especially like here at the Bridal Extravaganza. We have been here for 40 years. I've personally been here for 19. I have never heard it put that way. I've heard it reversed, almost like a complaint. It used to be this, like you hear about people spending way more time editing after than obviously they used to.
Right.
You hear the changes, but I never heard it put like that and a challenge.
So
in a great way.
we shoot in a specific way. It's a pain. A lot of photographers probably wouldn't do it the way we do. We use a lot of off-camera lighting. We don't do a lot on flash. Like flash with our camera, we carry them a lot throughout the entire day. And because of that, and though I guess we're pushing 15 years shooting weddings, my editing is more like making sure things are straight, making sure that the acne that popped up is there, and actually touching every image. But we are shooting like what your day looks like. We're not, if you spend all the time to pick out your linen color and the floral colors and the special mid green that the guys are wearing and these boutonnieres and whatever, the last thing we want to do is go and put a filter on it and make it look yellow or make it look mid green or make it look, we like to really, the memory is going to be what your day actually was, and not like for us, the filters and things like that is like the beehive and the bell bottoms. You're going to look back and say, oh, that was 2015. Look at how that was edited, right? Ours, she try to make it more like cinematic with the lighting and the color and the ambient light still being there instead of like so much flash that you draw it out, not enough ambient. We like it to balance out so you actually see gray on the background or you see the actual colors of what you picked. That's really important to us because, and 6 months, a year and a half, or your life planning what it might look like.
Yeah, all your life.
Yeah. And then like in our eyes, for weddings especially, the last thing you want to do was go and toss some trendy color altering filter on it because they put work in it.
So we try to
That
take
is how for editing time a lot shorter, and especially with AI doing some stuff for us, a lot of times we can turn weddings around, but we definitely within the month. When we get really busy,
here first.
when they get really busy, it takes a little bit more time.
Sure, of course.
But there's definitely times where we can deliver within my 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there's also times where it's like a month and a half, but like it's just all horror stories whenever we hear 6 months even.
And
I can't like she'll testify. I can't go off like if we're shooting like closer to Christmas, I can't leave on this vacation with anything waiting. I don't get back to it. It has to be. That means like I'll get a few the kids for 2 weeks before we leave. I can't really relax on any type of vacation and not feel guilty or whatever. It's in my head that like, well, what's the perfect time to see your wedding if you got married by 3 weeks before Christmas? Your perfect time to get your video or not or speak for a videographer, but your images is before Christmas when everybody's together. Like, what's better than that, right? What's better if you had arrive Thanksgiving and then you have the photos in time for Christmas? The better. So you just have to get into them.
No, that's what I was just gonna say. We shoot true to color. It doesn't mean that our clients don't on enter and like filter which to do that. Not many of them do actually, but we shoot true to color, so how you planned it, like he said. But any of the special effects you see, like crazy lighting behind them or, the sparkler things or glow lights, stuff like that, we do it in camera. So we don't have to add crazy effects, which does help the because he is very good about making sure both of us, mainly me, know the technical aspects so that we can get it right in camera and can be. That's so old school. I
What's the
guess
timing? Well, so I started photographing with like 4x5 film and 2.25 film. I ended up learning 35 millimeter photography, but that's not really where I started playing. I started playing with large format film, head under cloth. And so you learn how to do double exposures. You learn how to do shutter jags. You learn how to do all these things. And digital just makes it easier. And it's a tool to use instead of crutching it off, in my opinion, in a computer. So we're photographers, we're not digital artists, which is a big difference, right? We're actually, we consider ourselves photographers. I don't, I like I say, up their skin, things like that, but we're not all the trickery in the computer, because that takes a lot of time. You can't do that to an entire wedding, but we can have fun with our camera, dude.
so when you're talking to a couple, how do you determine that that's more important to them? Because sometimes they're seeing all these crazy things on the internet, right? And they think they want them. And you do that. Or yeah. How do you clear it? No, so we cleared up in that when we're first communicating with someone, first of all, the images that we choose to display at the or any open houses, social media, we're always very quick to show and say that we do these things in camera. So if they've seen our work before, they have probably are aware of that already. But it shows, and in just communicating with them, we're always very upfront with we do things in camera. You don't add the crazy effects unless it's something we can do in the moment. I'm gonna do it in the moment anyway. So if you're got me running around like crazy with sparklers and spelling things or whatever, trying to draw really bad hard with sparklers, I am. That's more fun and it's a memory and stuff. And it's just and the lights. My heart for a light start
Well, it's
talking.
just those, she's always so tall, so.
But yeah, but it's fun and it's a memory. And so we're very quick to point out that kind of stuff. And usually that's why if people haven't seen our work, we call them check us out on social media because we're very upfront with in camera. Add your crazy sky. We're not gonna do all that stuff. I mean, if your day is gray and there's no sunset, we're not gonna go in and we'll do the best we can with what the light looks like, but we're not gonna go in and out. And so we just communicate that to upfront. We're very honest. With people like that.
We love weddings, and that's one of the reasons we do that. We want to be authentic. Everyone talks about, like, that's one of the big words of 2024, right? Was authentic, right? But that does mean, like, like you said, if your day is great, your day is great. If it was raining, if you're willing to get wet, let's go get wet. If it's dark blue, well, that's one of the things that you can do in camera whenever you have the lights and everything, is you can actually set your exposure so that you get the blue sky, and then you can put light on your subject. That way, you don't get just the blown out white sky that you get normally from trying to expose for your subject, right? So the highlights take over and they'll blow out white, and then your person might feel good, look good, but we try to just make all that happen so that you get the best representation of your day, because it is important to us. I mean, like, but we're lucky that we still love weddings, even though
You are lucky. And I'll say again, having been here so long, a lot of the photographers have left. And when they leave, they say, it's so late at night. There's so many things to add. I'm moving on to corporate or I'm moving on to, whatever they think the grass is greener. Who knows if it really was. Yes. You still really do have to love it. I love it. You can't not love photographing weddings because it is hard on the body. And it is especially our style is very mobile. It's recovery days might be a little bit longer. Mornings like require a little bit more coffee the day after, but I mean, you can't love it, not love it, and still provide your best work. And when you start doing a disservice to your client, that is maybe time to move on. Doesn't mean we don't do other things for photography, but Yeah, weddings are I like them. They're just being there for the client is just fun. And we get to be in some of those moments that other vendors and people don't. Like, it's pretty cool, especially 'cause they're having their private moment. The photographer, like, it's like they're having their private dinner. Photographer's there. Like, it's fun to witness that and see their start because there are still moments during weddings that the father-daughter dance gets me every time, say, to little girl. And so I'd look over at him and I'm just like, "Oh, God." Like, still, every wedding, I'll look at him or right during the vows, we'll look at each other and like do a wink or something. So it's fun to still be in that moment and witness something. And if you're a couple, that's anything there.
First, and it's really important. I think that for any vendor, once you pass, like especially the 10-year mark, and you're actually dealing with clients a lot. Like some vendors they don't have this much involvement, right? But really being able to figure out, identify, and try to zero in on who your ideal client really is and doing your best to work with them keeps the burnout away. It helps a lot if you are looking forward to someone's wedding because you like them instead of just looking forward to a payday. And so like that's been, I think, a big key of ours is like sometimes it's hard to say no, but sometimes it's just not the right thing. And so we do have a few other photographers that we can refer to, a natural another husband and wife team. But that's like one of the big things, unless you really need it, unless that transmission book, it's important, it really is important to make sure that you're working with the people that you want to work with on such an important and special day. It's not like just rolling into someone's business, doing a headshot for 3 hours and leaving. It doesn't, you might not like the person hired and be working with all these other people or whatever it is that like you're working with the people and it's their special day. And it's like, it matters. It matters if you're like, oh, this, I don't want to be here. And it really doesn't matter. You have to be able to drop your day off before you walk in that venue, whatever's going on, you have to be able to just be there for them 100%.
What's your advice to couples, like for you to get the shot? Like, how do you, they're not models. No. Right.
So one of the important things that we do is we included video session with all of our booked weddings. To us, like there was a time where I didn't. She wasn't shooting with me, and I would come home really frustrated after weddings. Like, why wasn't this one as good as that one? Like, it wasn't the cup. Like, it wasn't like they were mean or anything like that. Like, just what's the deal? Then after thinking about it for a little bit, I realized that all the ones that I didn't feel like were as smooth or whatever were the ones that there wasn't an dating set with. And the ones that had engagement sessions, there was a better rapport. I understood, oh, she's a blinker or he's super shy or, they definitely like don't turn that direction because the profile, whatever it is, right? Also reading people on how they're comfortable they are. And so we started just including the engagement session. And that's always a talking point because a lot of couples try to, oh, well, we already had an engagement session or whatever. That's great. Glad you have those photos. I bet
Have to.
but exactly, this is more of a tool.
You can never have too many. Come
Well,
on.
yeah, and like one of the things is it doesn't have to be a 2 hour session. It can do, we met for 30 minutes at a coffee shop. And it's really about, you talk for 15, two for 15, just a little bit of time and a little bit of time with the camera and can literally open up an engagement session and seeing the beginning and the end and can see people get comfortable. And it's like, what if that was your wedding day? And you can see people uncomfortable and then, so it's so important. Like, oh, hey, Oscar's here, Christy's here. Instead of like, oh, the photographer's here.
Right.
That right there is just a huge thing. I would definitely say one of the worst things that we've seen happen are the people that go and Google how to be accused of a photographer that you've really looked at their work and they've been doing it for a long time. And over the body of work, you see that like people just tend to not look bad. Like there's a reason. There's a reason for that. Like we do a lot of our work will look super candid, but it's especially if it's just photos of the bride and groom, it's actually very coached. It's not posed. We'll get them in a position, then explain like the movements that we're going to do, and then we'll do them. We don't like hold them still so much and like, but we try to like instruct them. I go through a little bit of a spiel on, how to stand, what we may or may not do with hands, better placement for feet, and then we just got to go. But it's a little bit of communication and then like really trusting your photographer. Like, even if you're somebody that's claimed that you're photogenic or whatever. So like I said, the engagement session for me is a tool. So I don't necessarily need all of it to be magazine quality. If we end up with like 10 that you love, we normally deliver between like 80 and 100 or so for an engagement session. So out of that, most of the time we're probably nailing 90, 80% of them. But if someone is hard on themselves, they only come out with like, 20 that they love, but that's great because now we're more comfortable and it's going to even be better. So
It is fun to, I guess, two things, but to go off that because follow each other on social media. And so we like to see what they post from their engagement session. So we know the poses and the series that they enjoy to do it at the wedding. So we're going to follow, if they make it their profile shot, we're like, we need to recreate that on the wedding day so that we know that's what they love. That's the one image they chose to make their profile picture. You need to do that. And then I'll go in and put that in our CRM, their picture. So for their project. So that's their favorite. So we do that, but then also throughout the whole process with engagement sessions, bridals, planning for the wedding day, we send PDFs throughout that have kind of tips because, as a bride, I feel more prepared when I've researched or whatever. We don't want them researching. We want them talking to us and communicating that. And so we send them PDFs or links to information or stuff like that. Blogs we've written, something like that, that can help them feel informed without them going crazy on Pinterest or and there's tons of information out there. A lot of it's probably fine, but it's not specific for the person. And so we try to give them the information. We feed it to them so that they don't feel the need to go searching for it. And that's helped a lot since we started sending those. And we do it kind of throughout. So when they first book, they'll get the engagement that usually right away. And then bridals.
That's why the ones we have a nice explanation of how to plan your family photography, because that's the place where most time is lost. And that's where you get blamed for the day you'll just and there's not a plan, then everyone's just standing around. Who do you want to do next?
I have witnessed this.
It's the worst. It's the worst. And so we pretty much nailed it down and we can find there's a family group. But if they do the homework that we ask, if they don't, then it's, we also have the experience to be able to make it happen. And when she has the family groups that her at that she'll just like, well, do you want to do this group? How about this group? But overall, we really try to make sure that
who's married you?
Well, it's already handled like with names and everything. So we're not like asking for like the Miss family where we're asking for like, where's Aunt Judy? Where's Uncle Ben? Where's like whoever? I send my human so that people like, oh, they went to the bar. Like, okay, go get them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we trying to be as prepared and have them as prepared as possible.
Good tip. If you know that's something you want to go to, you guys have a website that's really resourceful. You've got all like the ad, you've got the social media. So you can really plan through that process and know where you want to go to. But if you don't know, that's great as well because you guys have all of it. It's every vendor and not just like photographers and use.
And so all the things that you're offering the bride is all the things that your exhibitors get to take advantage of. So from like, we're here right now, this is part of it. We didn't just get this because we're not exhibiting, right? So it's everything that you have from this, the class that I attended last year, help people that maybe haven't done bigger shows or shows in general to get prepared. The opportunity to be in the book. The book was it the book?
Magazine.
The magazine. Thank you. Yeah, and all these different avenues. It's all compounds. The more what do they say? I mean, it'd be like 7 touch it, 9 touch it before someone. It's like in the teens. Yeah, it's like ridiculous. Now, the more they see you, the better off it is, and the more they see you with things that are actually coming out of the extravaganza, the better off it is, right? So I just think as a whole, it's probably been the best investment. It's a bigger investment, but with it being a 2-day show, and we met so many people last year that if you're set up to do the work, if you're set up with email drip campaigns, or you're set up with the guts to actually pick up a phone and call people, and if you're set up in a way to be able to, let's make an appointment for next week to come by or to get on a Zoom call, and if you're going to follow through with that, like then that's the key with all of it, right? Because it is a lot of people that come through. So yeah, it was a really great experience.
Awesome. Thank you. For more information on photography and many other vendors, log on to our website at bridalextravaganza.com. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. This has been Lorette Veras.